Good morning, everyone. My groupmates and I are assigned to report the Chapter 8, which is about organizing to implement corporate diversification. Hi, my name is Jacqueline Claire Anmanse, and I am assigned to discuss the introduction of the Chapter 8, the organizational structure and implementing corporate diversification, and lastly, the Board of Directors. Introduction. Chapter 8 explains how these kind of firms are managed in a way that is consistent with the interest of their owners, equity holders, as well as the interest of their other stakeholders. The three components of organizing to implement any strategy are organizational structure, management controls, and compensation policy. These three are already tackled and discussed on Chapter 3, but are also important in implementing corporate diversification strategies. The organizational structure and implementing corporate diversification. The most common organizational structure for implementing a corporate diversification strategy is the M-form or multidivisional structure. So, sinasabi rito na ang most common na ginagamit ng mga companies or corporation para mag-implement ng corporate diversification strategy ay ang M-form or multidivisional structure. This is what multidivisional structure looks like. In multidivisional structure, each business that the firm engages in is managed through a division. Different firms has different names for this division, like strategic business units or SBUs, business groups, and companies. Sa multidivisional structure daw, sa bawat firms ng business ay mayroong division kung saan yung division na yon ay sila ang nagmamanage dun sa firm na yon. Ang bawat firms or division ay iba't ibang pangalan. And dun din yung naka-assign yung different employees with different levels and roles. For example, General Electric. General Electric defines its division in terms of the types of products each one manufactures and sells. So, naka-define daw yung division nila sa different products or kung ano yung minamanufacture nila at kung ano yung binibenta. Just like Aviation Division, Capital Division, Energy Management Division, and Healthcare Division. Another example is the Nestle Company. Nestle defined its division with reference to the geographic scope of each of its businesses. So, geographic daw, kung saan dito yung mga lugar nila ng business nila. And nakalagay dito na meron sila sa North America, South America, so on and so forth. The M-form structure is designed to create checks and balances for managers that increase the probability that a diversified firm will be managed in ways consistent with the interest of its equity holders. So, yung M-form structure daw ay ginawa para daw mabalance nila and ma-check nila ng mga managers kung tumataas ba yung kanilang sales or yung may nag-changes ba dun sa business nila. The Board of Directors. One of the major components of M-form organization is a firm's of Board of Directors. So, isa raw sa pinakamahalagang part ng M-form structure ay ang Board of Directors. In principle, all of a firm's senior managers report to the board. Yung mga senior managers daw, sila daw yung nagre-report doon sa Board of Directors. And yung the Board of Directors' primary responsibility is to monitor decision-making in the firm, and ensuring that it is consistent with the interest of outside equity holders. So, sila daw yung nagmamonitor when it comes to decision making at kung makaka-affect ba ito dun sa outside equity holders nila. A board of directors typically consists of 10 to 15 individuals drawn from a firm's top management group and from individuals outside the firm. So, yung board of directors, kinocompose sila ng 10 to 15 people and yung iba doon ay galing sa company nila, yung from the top management of their companies or firms, and yung other members ay galing sa labas ng kanilang company, which is nagtatrabaho pero hindi sila doon sa loob ng company nila. A firm's senior executive, or also known as the president or chief executive officers, and few other senior managers are usually on the board. Sila daw yung mga part. Sila yung part or bumubuo doon sa M-form or multidivisional structure. Although managers on the board are typically outnumbered by outsiders, the firm's senior executive is often but not always the chairman of the board. So, kadalasan daw yung mga managers ng board of directors ay nakukuha galing sa labas ng company nila o yung tinatawag nilang outsiders. Karaniwan naman daw na nakukuha nila as the senior executive is galing sa kanilang firm. Sila daw yung the chairman of the board. The task of managerial board members, including the board chairman, is to provide other board members information and insights about critical decisions being made in the firm and the effect those decisions are likely to have on firm's equity holders. So, ang karaniwang daw ginagawa ng mga managerial board members and the chairman of the board ay sila daw yung nag-share ng information and ang kanilang insight about dun sa decisions na nagawa ng firm and kung makaka-apekto ba nito sa kanilang equity holders. The task of outsiders on the board is to evaluate the past, current, and future performance of the firms and of its senior managers to ensure that the actions taken in the firm are consistent with equity holders' interests. Yung task naman daw ng mga outsider na part ng board of directors is sila nag-evaluate ng performance ng firms from the past and yung kasalukuyan and yung maaari nila maging future performance ng kanilang firm. And yung mga senior managers naman, sila yung nag-assure na yung kanilang ginagawa is tama and ito yung nagbibigay ng or nag-assure na consistent yung kanilang performance pagdating sa performance ng kanilang equity holders' interest. Component and activity of the Board of Directors. Board of Directors. They are the one who monitors decision-making in a firm to ensure that it is consistent with the interest of outside equity holders. Institutional investors. They are the one who monitors decision-making to ensure that it is consistent with the interest of major institutional equity investors. Senior executives. They are the one who formulate corporate strategies consistent with equity holders' interests and assure strategy implementation. Strategy formulation. Senior executive, their strategy formulation they are the one who decides the businesses in which the firm will operate. Sila daw yung nagde-decide ng kanilang business kung saan yung firm na ito or yung assigned firm na ito ay yung mag-operate. They're the one who decide how the firm should compete in those businesses. They specify the economies of scope around which the diversified firm will operate. When it comes to strategy implementation, encourage cooperation across divisions to exploit economies of scope. They evaluate the performance of divisions, and they are the one who allocate the capital of different divisions. Corporate staff. They are the one who provide information to the senior executive about internal and external environments for strategy formulation and implementation. Divisional and general managers. They are the one who formulate divisional strategies consistent with the corporate strategies and assure strategy implementation. The strategy formulation of division general managers is they are the one who decide how the division will compete in its business given the corporate strategy. Their strategy implementation is to coordinate the decisions and actions of functional managers reporting to the division general manager to implement divisional strategy. And compete for corporate capital allocation. Cooperate with the other division to exploit corporate of scope. And lastly, the shared activity managers. They are the one who support the operation of multiple divisions. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something from my report.